Well, with me, the Minister for the Cabinet Office, Kate Lord-Brennan, and I must admit, the Cabinet Office has this mysterious feel to it. We're never quite sure, but you have explained it. I know you've done your best, and you're going to do more now because this is interesting. You've got to bring your thoughts, your ideas forward for Tynwald. This is a fairly newish thing, isn't it? And it's debated, is it? And you have to outline what you're going to be doing.
Yes. So at the start of this administration, and as was explained in the Island Plan, ministers have been required to, this come from this administration, come from the Chief Minister. Ministers have been required to bring their department plans to Tynwald, for debate and clearly for challenge, scrutiny, but also to debate the ideas that ministers are putting forward and their intentions with the department.
So this is the plan for 1 year at a time, or how long ahead?
So the Cabinet Office one, because it's the first one that we've brought forward, and I think every other department has also brought theirs to Tynwald, so I'm not sort of first out the blocks on this. Right. But I think
I've not heard much about this, to be honest.
Well, I think I think one of the thoughts behind it was that it's good for public awareness, transparency, and debate for departments, individual ministers to bring forward their ideas. So the Cabinet Office one, which will be debated in Tynwald next week, looks back and also looks forward. Okay. So we look back at some of the things that we have done. Mm-hmm. It's that chance to demystify the role of the Cabinet Office,
well,
and we also look forward.
Strange one, isn't it? It covers all sorts of things.
I personally feel like it has. Certainly been shrouded in mystery. I know I felt that way when I was a member of the Legislative Council. Yeah. It did feel that way. It shouldn't feel that way because there are clear functions there. But also, so it's an opportunity to just bring some clarification.
Well, give some highlights of what you're planning to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I've wanted to take the chance to outline some future plans and reforms that I would like to pursue over the course of the rest of the administration. If I'm in a position to be able to do that, and some of those things I actually think might pick up on some of the things that people have hinted that they've wanted when they were looking for reforms and changes, and perhaps we were having debates and discussions about the economy or also about the Island Plan. So I've taken the opportunity to outline 10 or so points. That
the Island Plan is the sort of glue around this whole thing, is it?
Yes, it is, because departments need to bring forward their department plans in fulfilment of the Island Plan, but of course we'll have other things that they're attending to either as business as usual, or also that they are wanting to pursue themselves. So in the plan that that I'm bringing forward, some of the things that I'd probably highlight are. Yep. We've talked a little bit about public service before, and about there is an Office of Human Resources review going on, but about the need to be able to create a fit for purpose public service that can deliver for people. So that's in there. There's also the point about how we deal with major opportunities and strategic matters. You talk to enough people to know, and so do I, that people have there are frustrations with going around different departments when there is something major and strategic to deal with. Now, this is
silo mentality is an old MHK used to use.
We could probably play a little game of bingo of words that yes. would include that, and it might include. Well, you tell me as I go on to explain. But so
there's many. I know.
So the proposal is, and so in a way, some of the things in this are actually picking up on some of the things.
Are you knitting them together? Yes. Is that your job to bring these departments together?
I'm not bringing the departments together, but I do see it my job to kind of pick up on some of the things that actually could be brought forward as tangible reforms. That actually, instead of debating them for years, like some of these things have been going for 17 years.
So reforms. Get on with them. What have we got? Reforms.
So we've got the creation of a single point in Cabinet Office to deal with major opportunities and strategic matters. So,
gee, that's a long one.
Well, if you think about it, some kind of major opportunity for the island, they may have to go around many departments, which actually may also have a role in either implementing or regulating or supporting. So that brings frustration. So if there's something major for the island,
give me an idea. Like some entrepreneur would get in touch or something. Would it be?
Well, it could be
offer jobs, building. Companies?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be seeking to undermine the aspects of other departments.
DFE, it sounds like to me, that's all.
Well, you could you could bring things together, you see. So I think, you know, I know that we've been approached by somebody who wants to do something absolutely amazing and strategic with, you know, the sort of sport and community and this, that, and the other. And actually, you know, you're sort of limited because you kind of say, well, go and talk to
So
this
you're going to be the
department.
conduit for this, are you?
Well, I think in Cabinet Office it needs to have a central point to
Is this
facilitate
you or
that.
your people?
I think it needs to be at officer level. So
Right.
that, but the point is that when you're dealing with that stuff, people should not have to feel like they're being sent around the house. It needs to be coordinated in some way and working with other
the Isle of
departments.
Man where you can.
Well, yeah.
Yes, right.
And the other point is about the policy team in Cabinet Office has been coming along since I started out. So we've seen that develop its capability in different areas, and they're supporting the different boards that work with the Island Plan and with the Council of Ministers. The next thing is that really we need to be able to draw into that policy team the ability for different sorts of strategic thought to better inform Council of Ministers. So that is another part that's in there. Is to be able
So
to,
you've got the ear of the council, basically. You can go, they come to you, you do the due diligence and all that sort of thing. If it's a good idea, you can fast track it. Can you?
Well,
No?
this sort of policy team is already supporting ministers and different, you know, boards that work on the Island Plan stuff in different ways anyway. So this is already happening. But the point I'm making is that we need to get better. We ought to get better at drawing in and getting to that strategic thinking. We've got an economic plan, long-term thinking that we need to deliver on. So make that point then.
The increase in population and all that.
Well, there's so much, isn't there? So much that you can't just be taking views just from, you know, it's government talking to itself. You need to be able to broaden out and get the best sort of thinking and advice that you can. So that's in there. Regulatory separateness probably sounds quite boring.
I have no idea what that means.
Well, this is a project that had kind of come out of some of the single legal entity work a while ago, but it kind of at the time didn't really have this sort of political support. But you know, I've sort of committed to working with the DEFRA minister about getting this project off the ground again. About regulatory matters, you know, should not really sit within government departments.
Right.
So picking that aspect out and making sure that you've got a sound regulatory system with sufficient oversight, but is not effectively government regulating itself. That's, you know, that's a really important point of principle, but also, you know, it has practicality matters, as you know. So sort of myself and Minister Barber are on the same page on this. So that's really great to have that, you know, sort of political commitment on both sides. I feel we need to take that opportunity, so I'd like to sort of reactivate that resource in Cabinet Office again to bring that forward. And then
reactivate it. Sounds like so it was there but it didn't work. And
well, no, it was there, but it never, you know, some things don't happen because they struggle from a lack of political initiative to get it over the line.
So the minister in charge may not be for it or against it. So there being different ministers, obviously, in that department you talk about there. Some will be more keen than others.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can have, so in some ways there's work done, but it wasn't pushed over the line. So it's nice to be in a different place with that. The next one relates to having a government reform bill to seek to put the Isle of Man government on a statutory basis, and also take the chance to, if there is any sort of red tape or bureaucracy that individual departments are identifying, to make amendments in that respect. So
they've tried to do that for many, many, many years, haven't they?
Well, have they actually just thought?
Nothing's happened.
Point.
I don't think so.
You know, you can talk. I've been looking at stuff today. Stuff has been, you know, debated for something like 17 years.
Okay. So you're going to be the one that's going to get us over the line then.
You know, my proposal is the first step. Whatever happens next, and we don't want to get distracted in this administration with dealing with just moving things around for no reason. But regardless of the future of departments or structure of government, a sensible step is to put the Isle of Man government on a statutory basis. So that's something that I would like to...
Sounds very logical.
It does, because...
But impossible so far. You know, I'm not trying to push it down here, but
no,
it hasn't happened, and yet people keep talking about it all the time. So
indeed.
Okay, you're the one.
So there's that, and then I think there's also, you know, through that government reform bill, it might capture other elements, like I've talked to you about the Operations Performance Board. We could put that on a statutory basis. We could amend things to do the public.
What's your timeline for this? This is not going to happen in the next few months, surely. This is a long-term thing, is it, or in the life of this the Cannon administration? Well,
I have set these things out to be progressed over the rest of the administration, because they are big things.
Yes.
So and that is also the case for reform of government services through digitalisation. So that's like major transformation work.
So in 4 years' time, well, 3.5, whatever, you think you'll have this done?
I think we'll have a bill introduced to establish the Isle of Man government on a statutory basis. Yes, that's what I want to do.
Right.
And I think that the digitalisation work for reform of government services is already underway, and through that process, you should be looking at things that are replicated in government departments, so stuff that happens 8 times over. There's a chance to look at this stuff to make government more productive and efficient, and clearly not just for budgetary reasons but also for service reasons. Right. This is where we need to go.
And I have to say, does this mean more civil servants? Because everything is about saving money here, or trying to be more frugal, is it? Make things more simple.
That way.
So is there going to be less people involved, or the same amount of people, or you need more people?
We cannot go on growing the public service. The only thing to do is to make government more efficient and effective and productive in order to meet people's needs better, deliver for people, and to reduce inefficiencies. So, the ways that you do that is to kind of look at what is replicated through all the multiple setups of things across the multiple organisations in a way, and try and bring some coherence and change how service delivery happens.
Anything else? You've got pages probably with. Anything else you want to highlight before we finish?
Yeah, one thing.
Yeah.
Charities legislation.
Okay.
So that was brought in, I think it was in 2019.
Which is to
do with the laws that regulate charities. So, when people have charities and community groups, they're put under quite a lot of bureaucracy in order to carry out those functions. So I think it's time now for a bit of post-legislative scrutiny and think about anything that might need to be amended in charities, regulations and law to make it a bit easier for people who do awesome things in the community.
Less red tape. This is music to most people's ears.
So and this is why I think it's important to have a bit of public awareness. I'm not preempting Tynwald debate. Members will, put their own views on things, but I just think it is important for people to understand that change is being pursued, and some stuff passes people by, like the change from the Chief Secretary to Chief Executive Officer was a major change in December. We made that change in regs, passed people by. But that's something, again, that's been talked about for years and years, and we've just gone ahead and done it.
Okay, and I'm not, being trying any negative thing on this one, but you've got to take people with you on this journey, haven't you, basically? You can't do it by yourself. You have to have the support, Tynwald, but also the civil servants and the people who are going to do this for you. Right? Is that tricky?
Yeah, well, the thing is that it's right that politicians set the political agenda, and it's right that public service needs to organise themselves around delivery for that. I think we are in a moment where not only do we need to do this stuff, but it's actually, we've got an opportunity to attend to these matters. So I think that as difficult as things are, that I think we're in the right place to lead this stuff out and to do it.